Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of PLA with myself, Nick and Bruno. We've got three questions today. One is regarding an outgoing inspection. The second one is regarding giving notice and early termination of a lease agreement. And the last one is regarding just advice around when is it the right time or advisable to transfer the purchase price over to the seller. I will do the first one with yourself, Bruno. The first question is coming from an agent, I believe, as they say that I took a property over which another agent was managing. The tenant vacated the property and didn't paint the walls that were foaming. I immediately took pictures and sent it to the landlord and quoted for a repaint. Now, the tenant, which is the one that vacated the property, is disputing that the outgoing inspection was done and states that the quote is too much. Then the agent goes on to say, am I right in saying that the previous agent shouldn't be humoring the tenant with a lot of quotes or 10 quotes, and that the bottom line is that she is liable and that is the end of the story, and as such, the deposit should be released to the landlord?
So when a lease terminates for any reason at all, whether it's cancellation or lapse of time, there is a requirement in terms of the Rental Housing Act that there be an exit inspection. Now, what we find in practice is that the requirement for an exit inspection doesn't necessarily mean that there will be an exit inspection. So sometimes tenants, for example, will vacate overnight or will not pay much attention to the exit. And there are occasions, for example, where the landlords either don't know or procrastinate and only do an exit inspection far later in time when the tenant isn't available for some reason or another. So the Act does prescribe that you need to arrange for an exit inspection and that it be held between yourself and the tenant, or depending on you are. And the agent is supposed to actually procure this, or the agent is supposed to represent the landlord in the exit inspection. So this is a bit of a problem, because if the tenant has made himself available for an exit inspection and no one attends that exit inspection, and particularly this previous agent that the matter was taken over from, if they didn't actually attend to the exit inspection, now the question is, how do you prove that certain things were actually damaged by the tenant? Also, depending on what the damage is and how long the tenant has been outside of the property for. But like walls, for example, are a difficult one, because the argument is that the walls didn't get dirty overnight after the tenant left. So the exit inspection, as an example, the exit inspection wouldn't matter much there, but the entry inspection would. So now you need to ask yourself the question, was there an entry inspection, something that you can compare to the exit inspection to show that when he entered the property, the walls were clean. When he exited the property, they were no longer clean or very dirty or merited painting. If the property has been vacant for a long period of time after the tenant left, obviously, no one knows whether somebody else went in there, stayed there, or they dirtied the walls, as an example. So we don't have that information in place. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, did the previous agent actually conduct a proper exit inspection? And is there an entry inspection with which to compare this to? If we separate that and we go to the question at hand, which is, the submission or supply of a number of invoices to the tenant, there I entirely agree. You don't have to have this rule of 3 invoices or 10 invoices. It's not really the tenant's election. It's the tenant should have painted the property before he moved out. Since he didn't, now it's a landlord's prerogative to paint the property, and how he does so and the cost of doing so has to be reasonable, yes, but doesn't have to be agreed to by the tenant. So yes, in that instance, whether the quote is too high or not is inconsequential. The question is more around, was this fair wear and tear? Was it actually caused by the tenant? And if it was caused by the tenant, can you compare it obviously to the entry inspection? So you've got proof to say that the tenant actually did cause this damage.
So there you have it. So yeah, I thank you very much there, Bruno. And then what we go